Okay, guys and gals, this is Eric. This is another episode of Success Over Stress. We're looking at TQQQ. This is from the date. Don't see the date. Anyway, I think it was from the 24th. Let me see if it's on my notes. This is from, I guess, from Friday the 3rd. Excuse me, the 3rd. Okay, so I'm going to try to recreate the little bit of studying that I did on another sheet. I just replicated this sheet. So that's the sheet that had all the other info on it. Let's see if I can replicate that, make it make sense. Okay, this out of here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Does that get any bigger? Oh no, I can't draw on that. I can draw behind it. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, get that out of there. Okay, so talking about TQQQ, try to keep this short and sweet, to the point. All right, so this is moving in an upward trend with a retracement up. All right, and then one of the things I like to do is draw that ascending support. Each step along the way, you have the descending resistance, and then when it breaches one of these is when you want to get out. When it breaches that, you want to get in. When it breaches that one, you want to get out. When it breaches that one, you want to get in. When it breaches that one, you want to get out. So that's typically the way that you want to look at things. All right, so I can't mark this up while no, I can't. Okay, then let's come back to this, and we're going to simply do this. Okay, so excuse me, one of the things that I was looking at was for this general pullback area here. One, we see that this volume drops pretty low compared to this volume. It's under this moving average here, okay, but it's about half. You know, the volume was kind of coming up here, then all of a sudden it dropped to half. Wow, steep drop down. What was that? That's in here. What is it doing? It's reversing. Okay, so are you considering that this to be the trend line and then this was the drop below? Or, you know, are you considering this to be the drop below? But I think it's pretty obvious that people decided to get out here. Okay, so maybe this is the drop below. Hang on. And I'm back. Okay, so I think where we were still talking about whether or not this is the trend line, and let's say like, oh, it's the first green bar. Yeah, that's the first sign of a reversal, because that volume is low. But we would typically expect for the volume to be low or lower and the slight retracement or the pullback anyway. We'd expect for this volume to be lower. But look how much lower this is. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. All right, so even here, you see the price goes up. There's the rest. But this rest is here, 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 here. Okay, that volume is not generally half of these volumes. It's just, you know, below it. Okay, but as we continue to move with the volume in this kind of fashion, this volume all of a sudden drops in half. And why not? You know, because you got these nice bullish candles here, and you have small retracements. Got this nice bullish candle, these bullish candles here, small retracement. Nice bullish here, and all of a sudden you have a huge retracement. So now at this huge retracement, everybody's like, hey, wait a minute. Okay. And then not only that, but you have, you know, huge volume here too. So there's a fight ensuing. But now you got this really low volume. So yeah, even though that's a bullish candle, that really low volume moving up, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust that there are bulls in there. Surely enough, it's not. Okay, so the stock kind of does its pullback, and then look at that bottom tail there with the huge volume there, kind of signifying that you got some absorption and change in direction wanting to happen. So whoever put in sell orders probably whoever thought that this was a safe place to put a stop loss, anywhere from there to here, thought that was a safe place to put a stop loss. They got swept up by whoever wanted to, sell a bunch of shares. So all their shares got sold, and now we're trying to decide if this is the right zone, if this is the right pullback zone. And indeed, it turns out to be. One, you have this high volume here, and then two, you continue to have, that's why I have this boxed out, because this box is similar to this lower volume. Okay, this lower volume was turnaround volume. This low volume is turnaround volume. So what did it do? Turned around and it started going up. Okay, so from there, we want to draw that descending resistance. And as this stock moves past the descending resistance, it still has low volume, so it's not the time to get in. I'd say here is where I'm finding that you probably want to get in at when the volume does increase. 1, 2, third bar, 1, 2. That's on this line. Okay, so get in here. So enter here, stop loss here, and I mean you see what it does in terms of a leg. Okay, so what's that? A 1 to 2, something like that. 1 and a 1.5. Okay. All right. What's next here? Okay, look at that volume starting to move up. Right? Something like that. Volume's moving up. Then all of a sudden, super low. What does that super low signify? About to have a turnaround. Okay, so again, we got that super low volume, turnaround. So low volume, just gonna put a change. Ultra high volume, ultra high, reversal. Okay, so that happened here, and then yeah, we just put mid volume moving. This is the way I've always looked at it. Okay, all right, so then we get this kind of reversal in here that happens. Stop moves down, and then here we get this low volume again. Okay, and then there's a change. So, but now it's starting to get weaker, and I forget what I was looking at. I think I was looking at these guys. So, oh yeah, okay. So this is on my, okay, this is on, okay, cool. All right, here, so move up, retracement, and then this move up here does not hardly come above the previous high. Okay, so we're not really making new highs. Plus that retracement was pretty deep. Look at this move. Move up, trace down a bit. Now if we say we start off here, moved up, trace down maybe 50%, move up, retrace down maybe 20%, move up, trace down maybe a 30% retracement, move up, and I just say up there, and then from here to here, maybe 50%, move up, and now this one obviously went all the way through, so probably would have stopped yourself out unless you decided to use this as a stop loss. But I had another, let's see. One of the things I was looking at on another chart was trying to determine whether or not price height, the new gain, had anything to do with it. So for here, we're going to say that it's moved over this far. It's moved over this far. It's moved over this far. Okay. So the first run up went to here. The second run up went, it retraced down to here, and then it went up to here. So we're going to start it down to here, moved up to here. And then this one retraced down here, and then went up to here. So retraced down here, went up to here. And now this one retraced down to here, and then went up to the same spot. So retraced down to here, went up the same spot. All right, obviously there's no more meat on this potato, okay? So that potato is pretty much done. Everything else moved up and above. Okay, so this one moved up. It retraced, but then it did breach. Okay, this one moved up, retraced, and then it did breach. This one moved up, retraced, and it did not breach. Okay, so I say, all right, well, this would be a time to get out. And not only was that a confirmation to get out, but it also breached the ascending support, which I know they talk about, double tops is a pattern that people look for. So, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily talking about a pattern. I'm just talking about the fact that it didn't make a new high. Okay, so in the general sense of making a trend, you have to make new highs. The only way for you to go up or go up is if you up, down, new up, new up, down, new up, down, new up, down, new up, down. Whatever it is, you got to make a new high. Okay, so I mean, you can come in here and go boom, 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 boom. And that's fine. These would be called your pullbacks. Okay, but at some point, if you got a pullback that's strong enough, it can turn into, creating lows. And then that's another trend. It can be a pullback within an overall larger trend up, but especially if you're day trading, you're looking for the kind of the smaller frame moves. So that's what you got to trade. And that's the other problem that I found with myself for day trading is I'll find a good place to enter to make a move, right? But for some reason, I'm not accepting this to be the exit. I'm thinking this should be the exit. And I say, okay, well, as long as I hold on long enough, then it'll exit there. But instead of it coming up, down, up, and continuing on here, it doesn't continue on there. What does it do? It comes up, and then it starts its descent. And so you got to know what you're trading. I mean, you got to get out. You got to get out of here. You're not guaranteed to go up there. And if it's a short-term uptrend, then that doesn't mean that it's a long-term uptrend. I mean, if that's what you study, if that's what you assess, then fine. But that's not guaranteed. Okay, so all right, and then I'm gonna call this up and down retracement A, this up and down retracement B, and this up and down C. Okay. A and B. There's another one in there, technically. And that's the thing about this technical analysis. I mean, it's just so discretionary. Just meaning that it's up to your discretion. It's not objective. It's so subjective. And what you see in it, I may not see. What I see in it, I may not see the subsequent time. So I think that's why it's important to really take as much time as you can with these things and try to understand what you see and why you see, because and define it. If you notice on another page, I was trying to I'm trying to define things. Such and such must, so my B gamma, and these are my gammas, the drops here, the bottoms. So the gamma must drop into the A range, and then exit. So I'm really trying to define what I see, because if you're always changing your perception, then as inconsistent as the market is, if you're always changing your perception, then you'll never really be able to have a strategy, because strategies are based on a set of rules, an algorithm. And if what you're seeing or if what you're defining is constantly changing, then you can never have a true strategy. I mean, talk about discretionary, it'd be super discretionary. All right, so even here I was looking at, all right, how to define a swing high. Must be a factor of time and distance. So for instance, if you're looking at 5 candles, and here I think I drew, 5 candles, it could look like this, and that resultant 5-minute candle will look like this. This same candle, all these candles, resultant candle will look the same. All these candles, resultant candle will look the same. Okay, so which one is more bullish though? Which of these 3 patterns is more bullish? And how would you know? And to me, the answer really would be that, any answer would be wrong. You need to have more info. You need to know, how much activity is here. Is this slow activity, come down? Now this is a lot of activity, then it pushes up? Or is this a lot of activity, come down, slow, nothing really going on, and all of a sudden a lot of activity? Well, it might be saying that we're rejecting this area, and it looks fine from here, and it looks fine from here, but really there's a lot of volume rejecting this, rejecting that high. Maybe that's area of a lot of supply. Okay, so you need more info. Okay, all right, but hopefully I'll be able to get into that later with more info. And I'm figuring out myself new symbols and everything. So like I said, in the bottoms, I'm usually using like the gamma sign, and in the tops, I typically use beta. All right, and then for when I'm seeing absorption, I'll do this little windmill type thing, this little tornado type thing. But still playing with it all, and it'll come. But for now, hope you enjoyed this. Maybe next time it'll look a little bit more concise. All right, guys. I'll chat with you later. Peace.